accidentally discovered my mother-in-law's affair and I can't keep quiet about it.
You know, accidents do happen.
I work at my husband's family business that builds custom homes. I met my mother-in-law when she came into the design firm I worked at to pick out some options for a client. She and I hit it off, and after she'd come in a few times, she set me up with her son. By the way, this comes from Instruction Timely 640, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So fast forward 7 years, and I coordinate all the builds and consult with clients on design for the 50-plus-year-old family business. My mother-in-law is technically my boss, but we operate a lot like equals, and she's been taking some steps back. She and I have always gotten along great, and she has felt like the mother I never got to have growing up. So last Friday, I was packing up to go home and was on the phone with my husband before he got a flight for an annual weekend away with friends. I was distracted and accidentally grabbed my mother-in-law's computer instead of mine.
How do you accidentally do that?
She was like, I don't know, they look the same. And then I accidentally hacked into her computer, all pure accident. I didn't realize it until I was home and went to look up some fixtures for a project in our house. Once I knew, I texted her to let her know, to which she said, no worries. She was unplugging this weekend anyway and told me to do whatever I needed on it. I was just browsing and unintentionally clicked on a linked email on a store's contact page. And as a lot of Apple users know, that will usually pop up to send an email using your default mail app. I closed the draft, and when I went to close her email app, I saw an email from a recently hired apprentice titled Our Weekend Getaway Itinerary. I froze. I realized this was her personal email, and I couldn't help myself but to click on it. I found both explicit and romantic messages between this 22-year-old male apprentice and my married 47-year-old mother-in-law and boss. I slammed the computer shut and just went to bed, staring at the ceiling for quite a while. I mean, what do you do?
Just imagine
No, what have I done? My husband was gone all weekend and only got home today. I've been spiraling all weekend on how to handle this. I certainly wasn't going to bring it up to my husband while he was gone, but I went to the office and had to see my mother-in-law yesterday. I could barely keep my composure. I found every excuse to lock myself away in my office and be busy. Now my husband is back and I'm wondering what to do. Do I tell him? How do I even do that? Do I go to his mom and confront her? Do I go to his dad and tell him? Help. And there are some comments and an update, but what do you think OP should do?
This is between you and your mother-in-law. For now.
Mm-hmm.
For now. You found, you got to confront her and be like, what is this? And then have her come clean.
Yeah.
Because this is her mess. You don't want to make things messier than it should. I did see that comment there, which I was going to say anyway. You need proof.
Yeah.
You need that's, you can't just jump
she's got
there.
all the emails.
I know.
She has the computer.
Well, you never know when they can delete it. That she could have deleted it. Who knows? Or hide it somewhere else. So you yourself need to, need
take
the proof.
Of that.
Accidentally stumble on the proof again.
Yeah. Or take pictures, screenshots and stuff.
Something like that. Or record.
Yeah.
Or record. I know that's one of the stickier ones, but record you confronting her, and if she admits it, there you go.
Yeah. Comment says, if you're going to tell your husband, bring proof.
Right.
Reply says, screenshot everything. If you're tech savvy enough, screenshot on the laptop, open a private browser to email them to yourself, delete the screenshots, and delete them from the trash. Otherwise, just use your phone to take pics. Tell your husband. He's going to know something is off with you, and you'll worry yourself sick if you don't tell him. Is there a chance your mother-in-law and father-in-law have an open relationship? Your options would be to hire a private detective or inform the mother-in-law and get her to come clean, or inform the father-in-law so he can decide how to move forward or do nothing. OP says there's no chance they have an open relationship. My father-in-law was cheated on in a serious relationship with someone he thought he would marry, and it crushed him. He has always preached loyalty and monogamy in relationships to my husband since he was a teen. A reply says, if you admit to seeing it, accident or not, she's going to say you snooped and get mad at you. Shut the F up, act like I know nothing about anything I haven't been told about, and be surprised when someone says something. You know nothing. Swallow it like an adult, or risk being the one who blew it all up.
Dude,
I disagree
That's
strongly with this
comment.
You didn't, their actions did, but they could blame you. I've been in both positions before and trust the truth will come out, but it doesn't have to be through you. Not saying keep a known secret, but you weren't supposed to have the computer or click on personal stuff. Accident or not, to her, you snooped. I totally would want to do the right thing and let them know, but you can say stuff to her to sway her without letting everyone know you saw what you did. Like, hey, I know he knows you're married, But have you seen how he looks at you? Is that appropriate? Or whatever fits if you notice something inappropriate that maybe before you chalked it up to being a small business or whatever. That's a tough choice though. Good luck in whichever way you choose. And another reply that says, frankly, I would ignore it. It's none of your business, even if she is your mother-in-law.
What are these comments?
Who are these people?
You guys are supporting cheating?
God.
It seems like you guys support cheating.
This is crazy. It does seem like that. I mean, like, yeah, it's not OP's fault or anything, but it's her mother-in-law who she has like a really close relationship to, and also her husband.
Yeah.
Her husband's mom? Like,
yeah, this is something you don't keep under wraps for very long.
That's also how, betrayed would the husband feel if he found out that she knew. You say there's no way they have an open relationship, but you can't know what goes on between them, so ignore it. It's not your responsibility to tell anyone. I so strongly disagree. Compartmentalize work from family and forget you even saw it. How do you do that?
How do you realize?
You don't just have like a forget switch.
Did you not hear what OP said? Like, I can barely look at her.
That's insane. That's a terrible comment.
Everyone knows I'm going to be off.
2 back-to-back bad comments.
Boo.
Also, what if your positions were reversed and you were in her position? Again, none of your business.
What is that comment?
Those are stupid comments.
Those people definitely support cheating.
Yeah. Yikes. Wow. There is an update.
Usually we don't get many stupid comments. But
yeah, those were like 3 back-to-back stupid comments that I just wholeheartedly disagree with.
Snooped, it's your fault.
Yeah. What?
It's sorry that someone got caught cheating.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I caught them cheating. What?
No, honestly, I feel like, in my opinion, your choices are either talk to your husband or talk to your mother-in-law.
Go to the source. Talk to your mother-in-law and be like, you come out with this, I know what's going on. Or I go tell
my husband, yeah.
Yeah, I know what's going on. Tell me what's going on, and then we go from there.
Yeah. I shouldn't have been surprised by the amount of people who told me to keep it to myself and that I was in the wrong for snooping.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have opened the email, but I did, so here we are. And here's an update. My husband knew something was wrong after he got home. He can read me like a book. I mean, how do you even keep that a secret?
Yeah, everyone's like, keep it a secret.
I told him I found out something I shouldn't have and told him everything. He was mortified, but as someone said, he's glad I told him because keeping it from him would have been worse. He knew more about that apprentice than I did. He was the son of a family friend, and she's known him since he was a teenager. Oh,
weirdo.
That's really bad. That sounds like grooming. That's messed up.
We don't like grooming.
Hiring him was a favor to said friend. My husband said he wanted to take him from there, which he did. He went snooping on his own. The computer is company property and he has ownership in it as well and can log in remotely at any time. He took screenshots of emails going back with the apprentice over a year before he worked here. Then he found ones with someone else that were 2 years old. He also found records of a second phone and hotel reservations. With all that, he took it to his dad. I don't know how that conversation went, but I do know that they went to get him tested. To add insult to his injury, he tested positive.
To all those people who said, don't tell or keep it a secret.
Like, this is why you do tell. Because,
I would love to know.
People can get STDs.
Yeah.
There are so many different things, like health concerns.
I want to know your reasoning here. Your reasoning's like, don't tell. It's not your business.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous to not inform people about cheating when you know about it.
Yeah.
Because, things like this where people can get, diseases.
Not just
infections.
the emotional hurt, but the actual physical hurt.
Physical problems that can happen. My father-in-law joined us for dinner instead of going home, and we talked for quite a while. He was like a heartbroken teenager. He had no idea what was happening, but years ago, he had suspicions of her talking to other men. He didn't have any proof, though, and they dropped it after a brief fight. But now, with undeniable proof of multiple affairs, he said it's over. He also has a pretty airtight prenup that should make it a pretty easy divorce on paper. The family business is on his side, and in the case of infidelity, she forfeits all ownership of the business and the house they built together. So I'm sorry to break it to you, but coming clean didn't destroy my marriage or my career.
Also, great prenup.
Yeah. I told my husband mostly because we don't keep secrets from each other. It's a foundation of our marriage. But it's almost like reasonable adults put blame only where it's deserved, on the cheater. My father-in-law is pissed and simultaneously devastated and plans to get his ducks in a row before serving her with papers. And update 2, my father-in-law did end up confronting my mother-in-law shortly after my post. He brought the proof that my husband found, his positive STI results, a copy of their prenup, and the divorce papers. From what he told us when he came over for dinner after, he was calm and just laid it out all on the table, literally. She obviously knew she was caught and just asked how he found out. He said it wasn't important and outlined what the next steps would look like. He was willing to make some concessions on their prenup if she would come clean about everything and step down quietly from the family business, presumably.
Yeah. It's in the prenup.
I think he was so hurt by it all and he loved her so much that he just wanted this to be done and over, and he did still want to care for her. She fought for a bit but relented, so the divorce should go smoothly. She stepped down willingly from the business and moved out, but he did offer spousal support and their vacation home, which she moved into, both things that were not included in the prenup. But you know what is included with us? Full episodes just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Easy.
But there is a wee bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Crazy that through all the muck in the vial here, he gave her a vacation home.
Yeah, like still being very kind.
Also, he must have a lot of money to just be like, you can have the vacation.
I think so. I think presumably the family business seems like it's pretty successful.
I'm sorry, if I found someone cheating on me, they're not getting anything.
They're not getting nothing. My father-in-law has spent a lot of time at our house or going out with my husband, golfing or hiking. He's heartbroken and worried that it's all going a little too smooth, that she will suddenly change her attitude. But I personally think she knows she got caught and messed up past any fixing it. I'm struggling to come to terms with that version of her versus the one I got to know and love, but there's nothing I can do but be there for my father-in-law and husband. The two are really leaning on each other, which is heartwarming for me to see. She reached out to me to apologize for putting me in the position and hopes we can still have a relationship. So at some point she found out that he found out from me. I told her, not right now, but I don't know what will happen in the future. My husband is my number one priority right now. And that is the end of that story.